What's up, everybody? It's Chase with Energy to Conquer, and today is day 50, day 50. Today's the halfway point on my experimental journey, increasing my energy, my mental clarity, and my overall focus. Look, guys, if you don't feel like you have the energy you should have, if you just wake up tired, when you get home, you don't have the mental capacity because you're so drained to spend the time that you feel like you should be with your family, with your friends, weekends, you're depleted and can't never fully recover. Guys, that's what this channel is all about. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Guys, if you find value in the content, be sure to like it. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. But look, guys, today is day 50. This is my kickoff for week 8 on this journey, and this week is about time management. The funny thing happens when we start focusing on time management. It seems like all hell breaks loose every single time, right? And it's starting to rain now, of course, right? But, you know, yesterday, you know, I was going to work on a lot of planning, just nothing worked out. Last night, we go to bed, I'm in bed, probably 9:30, sleep, 10 o'clock, one of my sons wakes us up. So we get up, wake, finally go back to sleep, probably about 11. Another 30 minutes later, my other son wakes us up. So it's just like, can't catch a break. And then today, it's just been one thing after another. So it's definitely been one of those test days. And it's just been one test after another, it feels like. But you know what, guys, that's just life. You know, when you're running a business, when you have a family, you know, you're working in a business, whatever it is you do, like, that's just part of it, right? There's always going to be days like this. But it seems like when we set out to really start to lock down our time, to really get focused, it just seems like anything that can happen will happen. It seems like Murphy's Law is like, it's just all hell breaks loose, right? And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's been one hell of a day. And just like, I'm done with this day. You know, today's supposed to be an exciting day. It's day 50. I was going to do a big video on day 50, and it's just like, I don't have it in me, right? Anyways, guys, this is the kickoff. So that's kind of where we're at. We're focusing on, you know, time management, because I'm doing all this, you know, like, I've got a business that I'm running. I've got a family. I'm actually got a business that I'm transitioning. So even worse, it's not just like day-to-day stuff. It's a lot of creative thinking stuff on top of, you know, doing these videos. I got a family and all this stuff going on. I'm doing 75 hard, right? So that's even more added to this. And guys, it's like time management is so critical to making all of this work. But here's the thing, guys, when you feel like you're not getting the things done that you know you should be getting done, it's like you get this guilt, you get this disappointment, disgust, right? We've all been there on some level, and especially when we're flying by the seat of our pants, which I've spent plenty of my life doing, and, you know, I still do from time to time. But, you know, as we start to add stuff into our schedule, you know, it's either going to, I guess, dig a hole and make us more unhappy and more unfulfilled because we're not getting it done, or either we start actually accomplishing these things and start keeping the promises that we make to ourselves, because that's really what it is when we do time management. It's learning to honor the commitments that we make to ourselves. I'm going to do this at this time. I'm going to do this at this time, right? I'm going to spend this much time on this. And honestly, guys, those are the things that build self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, self-value. I'm in multiple 75 hard groups, and it's like you can just see by the time the people get done with this, it's like their confidence is through the roof. But the big thing it forces on is time management, and just keeping those commitments that you make to yourself for 75 straight days without breaking them, which does so much for your psychology, just your mental state. You feel so on fire, right? But guys, it comes back down, a lot of this comes back down to time management. And so that's the focus for this week. It's just locking things down. Like, I've been kind of sporadic with my 2 workouts a day for 75 hard, and, you know, just start times, stop times, a lot of things with work. It's just been sporadic, so I'm really locking those down. But what it does by doing that is it gives you targets, right? And you get these targets, you get these little mini goals throughout the day But when you hit these goals, it's like little achievements, and they make you feel good. They make you feel good about yourself, right? It's like a little win. Like you get a little, I guess, a little dopamine, whatever it is. You get a little rush, right? You get a little high. And as you can stack those little things throughout the day, they build momentum, right? So you get all that momentum from all this stuff, from these little tasks that you're doing, these little targets that you're setting, right? And as you hit them, you get your momentum throughout the day, and it builds your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and all these things. Now, on the flip side of that, when we go and we're shooting from the hip, and we know we got this idea, this list of things in our head that we need to get done, kind of vague, not really clear, don't really have a target, don't have defined targets for the day. There's not a step 1, 2, 3, 4, right? There's just, I need to get this done, this done, this done, and there was something else I can't remember, and there was another thing I can't remember, right? And you get to the end of the day and it's like, oh crap, I meant to get this done, I didn't get it done, right? Oh man, I completely forgot about that. And these little things we don't realize, but they carry so much weight and so much baggage with these little things. You know, just making a list and listing things out to get it out of your head is so psychologically freeing, like anxiety and stress. Like, that's just like little things you can take off of that, so you don't have to overwork your brain trying to figure this stuff out, because you've got it written down, kind of get it out of your head somewhere where you can go look at it, strategically organize it. But guys, you know, when you're shooting from the hip like that, you just live in this uncertain state. And so that becomes a mental drain in itself. I made a video about that. You can go back and look it up on uncertainty and indecision. But this, you know, and then, so that's its own mental drain, and it's mental, I guess, energy suck from that. And it just lowers your self-esteem, because you just don't never feel like you're getting the stuff done that you need to get done, because you don't really have a plan. I mean, that's the God's honest truth to it. Starting to thunder a little bit. But so here is the second part of that, is when we do make plans but we don't stick to them, and that's almost just as damaging, because now we got guilt, because now we know what we should be doing, we don't have doing it. Creates anxiety, creates stress, creates time pressure, like all these things. And some time pressures can be a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing. And part of that, I guess, comes from the stress, the guilt, is trying to do too much too quick, because we got all this stuff we need to get done. So instead of picking just 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things we need to get done throughout the day, we make a list of 24, right? Some of you know what I'm talking about. Like, we've all been there, come on. But we make a list of 24 things, right? And there's no way we could honestly get that done in 2 days, but we put all this pressure. We got 24 things to get done today, 24 things to get done tomorrow, 24 things to get done the next day. And guys, look, I mean, you can't get it done. So you're better off to get 3 or 4 of the highest priority things done. Feel good about yourself, get that self-esteem, carry that momentum into tomorrow, 3 or 4 more things. Because what's going to happen is you're going to end up getting burnt out, you're going to end up procrastinating, you're going to end up just doing a complete avoidance behavior, because your list becomes so stressful. Your time management list, like of all the things you want to get done during the day, when you've got 24 things, it becomes a stressor, right? Instead of something that's helping you and motivating you, it becomes something that demotivates you. So depending on where you're at, maybe right now you can tackle 10 things in a day, right? But maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you need to stick to 2 or 3. Maybe you just need to start with 1, right? Start where you're at. You don't have to jump in. Like, you're not going to be a time management expert out the gate, and you're going to have a lot more success if you start with 1 or 2 things and then build on that as you go throughout your day, or out throughout your week, month, whatever it is. Maybe focus on 1 or 2 things a day this week. Next week add in 1 more. Next week add in 1 more. You know, maybe hang out there for a while. Maybe next month add 2 more, and build it. It's a muscle, right? Time management's a muscle, just like fitness is a muscle, right? I mean, fitness is a muscle, but the skills, you know, it's like a skill set, right? You got to develop. Time management's a skill set. It's like a muscle. You got to develop it, right? Diet, nutrition, it's a muscle. It's a skill set. It's something you got to develop, right? So, guys, that's what this week's all about, and this is the kickoff for time management. Like, I'm getting focused. This week I'm focused on my workouts. So doing my 2 workouts. I got one in this morning. So the other one I ended up missing because I had so much stuff going on, but I'd already got in like a 45-minute walk, so I guess that counts as my workout for the 75 hard. But so I missed my afternoon workout, but moving forward, starting tomorrow is 9:30. I'm doing a workout, and then I think I'm going to do 2:30. That's kind of a iffy time for me, but I'm going to try to shoot for probably 2:30 or 3 and get my second workout in. And I'm doing strength workouts. Leg day, I think I'm going to run, do some interval training, and then on the weekends I'm going to do some interval training. So during the weekday it's going to be a lot of strength training. And so, you know, those two workouts and kind of getting the priority, so it's not shooting from the hip, when do I have available time, and making it work. It's okay, these is the time for my workouts, right? And I've got some things, other things that I've got going on in my business that I'm going to, probably about 2 or 3 other things. So I'm going to start at about 5 things this week and kind of focus on those and just create those little wins and create those little psychological momentum through doing that. And that's kind of where we're starting at this week. Also, I'm tracking my everything I eat this week. So I guess kind of trying to get my macros where they're at and my calories like where I'm at, so I know where to start, because I'm going to start getting a little bit tighter on my macros and really probably my calorie intake. So I need to find out where I'm at right now, because I really, like, I know the protein, but that's all I've really been tracking. So, and then some, you know, when I'm eating salads and stuff, I don't count it. As far as my diet on the 75 hard, I'm not counting processed, like if it's, I'm only counting the processed foods. I'm counting the carbs on the processed food. So if it's, you know, a fruit or a vegetable, I'm not counting it. So I'm going to start counting those this week and kind of just get an idea and an average throughout the week of what my average carbohydrate intake is, you know, my fats, my proteins, and really trying to get an idea on my calories so I know where to start cutting at. So just monitoring that and the time management, that's my 2 big things for this week, which is, you know, part of this energy thing is just keeping a log and tracking. And nobody really talks about that because it's kind of aggravating, right? It's kind of a nuisance, and it's not very popular because it's cumbersome, right? But, you know, as far as your energy, like your energy gains, like, you know, what's causing your like energy drain, like an easy thing to do is like just logging your meals and just logging, you know, what'd you eat, how'd you feel afterwards, right? Or what did you eat in the evening, how'd you feel in the morning, right? That's something simple. That takes like 30 seconds, but most people will never do it. So look, guys, that's kind of what I'm doing this week. Like, if you're not on time management, like, time management gets blown out of proportion. It's like people get overwhelmed, they don't know where to start. Start with a task of one thing, going to do it at this time. Then build that muscle, right? Build that self-worth, I guess self-esteem, I don't know what you call it, right? But your self-belief, I guess that's what I'm looking for. You build that self-belief that when I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. Start with one thing, right? Maybe that's, you know, reading a page in a book at 8 o'clock every morning. Whatever it is, right? So you get the point, guys. Your time management is going to be secondary to your energy management, but your time management is still critical to this game. It's critical to your mental health. It's critical to your physical health. It's critical to your overall well-being, because it's really your ability to manage your life. And when you're not managing your life logically, which is what this is doing, and you're logically managing your life, you're going to be managing it emotionally. And we all know when we manage things emotionally instead of logically, we usually end up in trouble, because we're just shooting from the hip, doing what feels good in the moment, right? We get upset, we have a bad day, we eat a large pizza and drink a pitcher of beer, right? Even though we're on a diet, because we're thinking emotionally and not logically or strategically. So look, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Energy or time management, it doesn't have to be difficult. Start small, build that muscle. 1 or 2 things this week, add 1 or 2 next week. Build the self-esteem, build the self-worth, you know, build that muscle, right? You start honoring these commitments that you make to yourself, And it don't take long, and it don't take many on a daily basis before you start seeing this boost. And this is something you can do. It don't cost you a dime. You can start doing it today and just start doing it. Boom, boom, boom. And after about a week of this, your self-esteem is gonna start rising. It's gonna be noticeable. You're gonna know it. Your attitude's probably gonna be better. So look, guys, you can start today with time management. Don't get overwhelmed. You don't need 15 books on this stuff. Start where you're at and just make it work. That's all there is to it, guys. So if you like this content, if anything you find of value in here, be sure to like below, leave me a comment, let me know. But other than that, guys, I'm out. It's been a long day, and I will see you guys tomorrow on day 51.